Today, I'm going to kick off the back-to-school season by teaching you how to help your child organize his backpack for a successful school year. Truthfully, though, this episode is a great listen any time of the school year as a reminder or a reset. At our house, we revisit that backpack throughout the school year. I know how hard it is when your child is frustrated and feels defeated with homework. And it starts with knowing where they left it, what is due. That is why I've put together 3 things you can do right now to help your child organize his backpack for success. As a parent, helping your child to stay organized isn't about the work, it's about helping your child stay emotionally regulated and feeling supported. So if you're ready to take that unorganized backpack from chaos to calm, grab your favorite journal and let's dive in. When you think about your child's dyslexia, do you feel at a loss as to what to do next? Do you feel alone trying to figure it all out? If so, you're in the right place. I'm Nicole, and I too was a mom trying to figure out my daughter's dyslexia journey, with feelings of overwhelm and isolation and sleepless nights trying to figure it out, what it meant for her, me, and our family. In this podcast, I will teach you how to navigate your dyslexia lifestyle with real-life parenting tips and dyslexia education. You are not alone. Let's get started. Did you know that I have a free community for moms like you? Busy moms who are walking their dyslexia journey and supporting one another through their ups and downs of dyslexia parenting. Our group is a safe, supportive, and positive space to connect and find your dyslexia community. Join us at the Facebook community group, Dyslexia Mom Life Podcast Community. One of the things we still struggle with in our house is helping my daughter organize her backpack so that she can find her homework and classwork. Even as we start high school, she prefers not to use a locker so that she doesn't forget anything. So the result is that she carries it all on her shoulders, quite literally. Even in middle school, she preferred to carry it all with her, her computer, books, notebooks, and a book to read. So after many trips to the chiropractor and forgetting she had homework to complete, we worked together to figure out what the best way that worked for her. Now I'm sharing our 3 tips with you, so let's dive in. In order to keep track of homework and what is due in class, you and your child will need to figure out what works best to keep on track for those due dates. Because you don't want to be on the way to school, been there, and your child remembers the homework or a test that day. It happens, and it's really no fun. When your child's backpack is full of loose papers, there's no guaranteed system for lost papers or that you stay on track for what is due in class. One way to help your child organize the backpack is to start with an empty backpack. It's crazy to think that when we were in school, there were literally 2 zippers in our backpack, one at the back that opened up to the whole backpack, and one in the front that we had a smaller pocket on the front. Now our kids have multiple zippers with large areas, a computer padded area, side pockets, headphone and phone pockets, multiple pockets on the front with little pouches. I mean, it's a wonder that they don't lose things, right? In class, our dyslexic kids, they can't remember where they put their pencil, did they pack their colored pencils, and then they have to remember that they had homework to complete on an online website. It's all the stuff. So if we think of our backpack as sections, we help them look at it that way. Then lay out each area in groups. So supplies go together, books go together, all the things they might need in class, and talk it through with your child as to where they want to keep each of their group of items. Sometimes I put things in the backpack and my daughter's like, yeah, that's not where I put that. So it's good to have that conversation. Again, it helps you have an opportunity to continue to build your relationship with your child too by collaborating on the backpack. It really does need to make sense to your child. So if you're doing it for them, they might still be at a loss. You need to do it with them. So at our house, my daughter even keeps, last year she kept a few pencils in the side pocket. So think the side pockets where you put water bottles. At one point in time, I think there were 3 or 4 pencils there because she just kept putting them there. They were easy access in class. She didn't have to worry about where to find them. So I would encourage you to work with your child to find a system that works. That system worked for her. The second way to help your child organize the backpack and avoid the mess and lost papers is to do backpack checks. So this can vary depending on the age of your child, but let's start out talking about everyday backpack checks. So looking at one, what do we need to keep at home? Are there finished projects in there? Is there finished work in there? And if so, pull those pieces out and determine what are we going to keep here at home. Designate a place that you want to keep things and then designate what you don't need to keep. But take out what's supposed to come home out of the backpack. Second, what needs to be completed and returned. So your child has to identify, like, these are the pieces that need to be returned. So it could be their homework, but it could also be their current class notes, their current study guides, things that they're currently using in the units that they're learning. And so those pieces need to stay in. This also leads to an opportunity for conversation about classwork, because for us, sometimes I think, oh, that was graded. Do I need to pull that out? And she's like, no, I need to use those papers to study with. So having that conversation and talking about the work. And then 3, the other piece to look for in those backpack checks is there anything that needs to be completed and returned? So think about things for the parents. Is there something you sign off on weekly? Is there a field trip list? Is there something specific the teacher is asking you, some type of communication perhaps that you're signing and returning? So those forms also need to be looked for and put back in that backpack. And as your child gets older, they'll be able to lead more of this. So think about backpack checks maybe once a week on Sundays to prepare for the week. It could be once a month or even once a semester, depending on the age of your child and how well they do with organizing their own stuff, right? And it really does change from time to time, depending on what your child's needs are. The third way to help your child organize the backpack is to really create a system, a folder system for homework or what comes home. And so I think of this, we used one the last few years that was more of a plastic color, like a plastic one. So it's kind of like the Pocket and Brad's, but without the Brad's. So literally it's, you open it up and there's a pocket on each side. And so this actually helps you and your child keep organized because they can put homework papers in there and papers to be signed. If they stick it back in their backpack, they don't remember. They really don't. They don't remember to ask you. They don't remember to look for it. So you end up finding the field trip form wadded up under books in the bottom of that backpack, and that's not good for anybody. This works well for students who often forget what is due, sometimes before they even leave class. You know, I'll admit, our daughter talks to me about this all the time. If she doesn't write it down in like a little small notebook right then, or puts it in this folder, by the time she leaves class, she's like, I've moved on to something else, right? And so we are the ones that are sometimes at the door or getting in the car to go, aha, I forgot something. So think of this, though. The one notebook gives your child one thing to keep up with, one thing to look at each night. So the notebook, again, would have 2 pockets. That's really what works best. So one side of the pocket, let's call it the left side of the pocket, could be for homework. So throughout the school day, put things in there that needs to come home. It could be things for you to sign. It could be study guides for a test. It could be homework that needs to be completed. And so that's going to be one notebook that's going to have multiple subjects in it, right? We're just going to put things in there that need to be done. And then also things that you might need to sign. And then on the right side, the right pocket, are things that need to be turned back into the school. So that's where things are going to go at the end of the night. When we pack that backpack back up to go back to school, what are in there? What things need to be signed and returned? What homework needed to be completed and returned as well? Now, if your child is older and they're on a block schedule with different classes each day, you may want to have a folder for each day. So like for our daughters, they have A days and B days, and that started in middle school. So those block schedules might be that there's 4 classes on one day and 4 different classes on the next day. So I would recommend different color folders. That really helps to keep the brain thinking, is this a blue day or a yellow day, right? You could coordinate it with school colors if you want, or whatever is your child's favorite color. Best off, take them with you, let them pick it out. And because that gives them some ownership and, you know, it just gives them an opportunity to be part of the process. So let's recap the 3 ways to help your child organize his or her backpack for success and reduce the clutter. 1 is start from scratch. Identify areas for each item. So at the beginning of the school year, either if you're using a backpack from last year, let's clean it out. Let's get everything out of it. Literally, I took ours outside and upside down. I'm getting all the dust and all the little pieces and everything out of it. So you want to start with that clean backpack. Again, this could be during the school year too, when you're having to kind of reset because we've lost stuff at the bottom of that bottomless pit of the backpack, right? So one is to start from scratch. Identify the areas that make best sense for your student to put his or her stuff, right? Whether it's money for an after-school activity, whether it's a key to the house, or that back-to-school folder needs to go. 2, schedule a time for backpack checks for younger children. This should be done daily when they're in elementary school to really help them keep on track. And then as they get older, you can move to weekly, monthly, or semester. And 3rd, create a folder system that works. Whatever works for your student is the most important. And you may be in a situation where the school is helping them do that as well. And if so, that's even better, because then you can complement or support what the school is already doing. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may want to learn more about dyslexia? Also, please leave a review for the show on Apple Podcasts. To know this podcast helps you makes all the difference to me and helps other moms find the podcast. And again, if you're looking for a positive mom community, join our over 1,000 moms in the Facebook group Dyslexia Mom Life Podcast Community. All right, that's it for today. Time to enjoy some family time. I'll meet you back here on Mondays and Wednesdays for more episodes. And remember, you got this.